Dennis Simpson, Mr. Chris Cooper. Chris, we're at
Solutions Home Entertainment, Hot Springs. That's right.
It's like a candy store for techies.
Yeah. Well, we've been doing this. Believe it or not, Dennis, we opened up in around October 2003. Before then, we were selling, TVs and audio video for several years at Dillards Electronics, and then all of a sudden Dillards decided to just...
Dillards had electronics.
Yes, we did. And
I remember one time I actually looked at computers at Dillards.
Yes, we sold it.
Yeah.
Packard Bell.
Yep.
Packard Bell.
Brought to you by Janae Cook, Taylor Realty Group, 501-617-9747. Don't delay. Call Janae. Brought to you by M-Force Capital. Joanna Horton at M-Force Capital, 501-922-9259. Your local professional in Hot Springs Village. And literally like your good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower, your State Farm agent. Your good neighbor is there, 501-984-4100.
Couldn't wait to get away from them quick enough, could we?
The problem with computers is they constantly keep changing themselves. It wasn't every year that we got a new model.
Well, but here's
every fourth quarter.
Every fourth, really?
Yes, and that was terrible because everything got outdated like that.
What I wanted to tell our listeners and viewers is, part of the deal is that, to be very frank about it, there are things that you buy and sell that are tar babies. You touch them and you can't let go. You got to keep a hold of it forever. And you were talking about being at Dillards, and why wouldn't Dillards want to keep selling electronics?
Well,
they're sticky.
The problem with electronics selling at Dillards is they had... Excuse me, I'll have to let that one go.
Sure.
That's Mr. Spam. We don't like spam. But anyway, the problem with Dillards is they didn't manage it that well in electronics. But actually, people in housewares would try to promote some TVs. They didn't get into it. It didn't work out so well, and they just weren't equipped to handle the custom installations that need to be done like what we do.
Like Solutions Home Entertainment?
That's right. We've been doing it. We've been number one in the village, in the Village Voice, and been doing quite well. But we have guys that have been doing this for years and years and years. So when they come into the house, they know how to run a TV, and what to expect out of them. We know how your walls are set. We know where to put the power. If we need to put the power inside where the TV would use a datacom power bridge, cut it in, come down below. So when you walk in, you see your wall. It's all clean and everything.
Yeah, which is what you need. And where I was going with that was when you're working with a product like that, when you're working with a high-touch product that you have to come back and service, that's not Dillards or big box stores. That's not their forte.
It's done.
Tell you a story one time. I walked into Best Buy in Little Rock, and this has been 25 years ago. And the guy said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "I'm setting up a training center, and I need a 720p TV, but I want something with a comb filter because I want a really high resolution, but I'm going to be feeding it with a DVI, or I don't know, maybe come in with a PC, a DB15." And he just looked at me blankly, and I said, "The answer to your question is no." He said, "What's that?" I said, "No, you can't help me." And I said, "I'm not being a horse's tail." He said, "Well, I've been working," and literally, he said, "I've been working in refrigerators." I'm like,
yeah,
to prove your point, right?
That's correct. That's
so
correct.
You need specialists you can talk to.
Right, and what we've done that's unusual, like some of the specialists, is we've taken time to make sure that our prices are as good as Best Buy or Amazon or Crutchfield. We don't set our pricing, Dennis.
How can you do that?
Well, we belong to a group called Nationwide, which is a big company that allows us to buy like big box stores, and we bring the product in at that price.
Really?
Yes, that's worked out quite well for us. And as I was saying earlier, we became, the first big goal was to get electronics in here. So we started with a company over in Little Rock that doesn't do it anymore, but we had JBC, we had Magnavox, everybody's heard of Magnavox, and we had, a little bit of Zenith. And that's what we started out with, because we couldn't get the brand we really wanted.
Which was?
Sony.
Da-da-da-da.
Yes. And the reason Sony was so important is because Sony at that point in time had everything. They had the camcorders, they had the VCRs. Camcorders.
Yeah.
The one with the height, the 8 millimeters, they had that. They had the camcorders, they had, VCRs, they had the audio equipment, they had CD players. I mean, they had everything. So we didn't have to shop around. They were all there, and everybody knows that Sony quality is generally really well on, as the Brits would say, spot on. That's right. The Brits would say that, and I've got a cool British friend, but that's beside the point. So we got them, and then we got the TVs. Of course, now the TVs then, what we're carrying now, are completely different animals. They were called the tube sets, and you all know what those are. Those are the ones that are like this deep,
This is the Vega.
Yeah, the Vega.
The Vega. And they weighed hundreds of
pounds.
We
carried
because
the worst one of them all. We actually had a 40-inch glass picture tube weighing in at 320.
I had a I'm not a weak guy, but I had a 37 or 35, I think.
Yeah.
And I picked that up and I thought, am I going to be able to make this? I mean, it was 140 pounds
At
easily.
least, yeah. And
But they're all glass. They were huge and super heavy. And so, for what it's worth, real quick, that was a transitory product. Because we see all these flat screens today that don't weigh 20 pounds.
No,
and we've gotten used to
them. Gotten used to them, and they're
gotten
bigger,
used to that. But in between ultra high def and high def was kind of low def, basically.
It was.
But it was 720. It was above the regular.
But the problem with it was they didn't have anything out there to watch. It was terrible. You buy this TV, everybody either be fat or skinny. Of course, now that's completely changed. And we moved in from very regular projection TVs, which use CRT tubes.
Right, the big three. Yeah.
That's right.
RGB.
That's right. And then we started using chip TVs that were using like the DLPs, the LCD projection TVs. And they were okay, but to find out the problem with those bulbs that were inside them, you had to replace them every so they're like $200-300 to replace. Then they would cook the chip inside and then would cause spots on your screen. Now that was a duration of time. It wasn't like that. It was a duration of time. Then they started bringing out the first plasma TVs, which were like $10,000, and they were extremely expensive. And you didn't need a heater in your house because it would warm your home up. It was that good. There it was. It's the fireplace in the house that was the TV. Then they come out with the LCD TVs, which basically looked okay, but you got to the side, you started losing your picture. Remember that? Yeah. And they were still a little bit warmer. They still kind of cooked themselves, but nowhere near like the plasma. But it kept developing and changing. And then there were the LED TVs, which people get that wrong all the time. There's not really any LED TVs out unless they're in front of like the stores or like the racetrack or the restaurants. Those are LEDs.
Right, the big ones we see.
What we're selling now are still the older LCD technology, but they're using LED TVs with LEDs around the side. Now it's behind it. Now they've got the new one, the mini LED that comes in behind and coats the whole back of the LCD screen and lights and dims the picture, and it's incredible. It's a lot lighter and a lot longer lasting.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, now I'd heard, and you and Tracy have an article you listen to. Y'all talk in the mornings on KBRE. I heard you talk about a TV that has speakers in the TV because if there's a bane of the new big TVs,
that is it. You got speakers the size of quarters on them, but Sony
they're playing behind you.
Yeah, Sony has developed their OLEDs. Now, OLEDs that would carry are JVC, sorry about that, Samsung, LG, and Sony. Now, Sony and LG use the same panel, but what's different is Sony has their own creation. They have another layer over the screen that's perforated that you can't see here.
Really?
This has been explained to me over and over. I still don't understand it. But the whole surface of a 65-inch TV is coming at you like that would sound.
Really?
Not only is it sound, but it's high fidelity sound. You get great bass. It's directional on one side of the screen or the other. And that's what we call Sony sound screen. It's not really called that, but that's what they use. It's an acoustic screen. And when you're sitting and listening to it, you get the full sound of the TV that's coming at you. And it's nice. And it kind of negates the use of a sound bar that would go underneath the television.
Yeah.
Normally we have sound bars. We do a lot of sound bars with Sonos, which is incredible. We do clip sound bars and Sony, and also we do some Simpson sound bars, which are good bars. But the Sony OLEDs with the new sound screens, we really don't have to have them.
So let's cut to the chase. And for those of you that don't know, our listeners and viewers typically are male. I have a 78% audience. And I think I saw the other day, the number of people I have under 45 is like 2 to 4%.
Okay? I can see that, yeah.
So the bottom line is that there are men who are over 50 listening and watching to the show. And I promise you right now, high frequencies in your hearing have been shot for 30 years.
It has.
And I've been audio. I did audio when I was in college. And the bottom line is we would say, well, you can hear from 20 cycles to 20,000. That's true. That's true. If you're female and under 25 years old, you can hear those frequencies. But after that, it just starts rounding off at the end. So people like you and I, 10 and 12, we're lucky, right?
You're very lucky.
Yeah, a cymbal crash, the high end of a cymbal crash. So everything sounds a little muffy all the time. And when you sit in front of a TV where with the 5.1, they engineer the center channel to be back where the voice sounds like this already. You and I sit in front of a regular TV and go, okay, where's the sample? Okay, we got to do something. What is going on?
And the soundbars still have places today.
True.
This is a TV that's been made. I sold one to Tom, the
Yeah,
radio
sure.
station KVR,
Tom Nichols.
Tom Nichols, and he hears it and it comes out better because that's what you start losing.
Now, Tom has been in radio for 60 plus years, and I guarantee you he has hearing loss. I can vouch for the fact he has hearing loss, and he won't even be mad at me if I say he has hearing
I
loss.
agree with that, but it's not only them, but the professionals like a group of doctors always have had pretty much hearing issues. Not all of it, but dentists, because they're hanging around those 5-inch drills. Now, my dad was a dentist, and he had issues with the hearing a little bit, and sometimes had. So to have a television with a much more developed sound
That doesn't require a sound bar, or a 5.1 or a 3.1.
3.1, just coming out of the screen. The Sony currently, and I know we sell a lot of Samsung, we sell a lot of LG. They're great televisions. The number one selling is the Sony sound screen because the whole surface of the TV is coming out of it like that.
Unbelievable.
It's clean. It's distinct. It's just nothing like it.
So let me be very frank. I can ask this question, but I know the answer. Well, why don't I just do a demo? Because you can't hear it until you get here. Come
That's
down.
true.
Where are we located? my
We're
friend?
located at 235 Cornerstone Boulevard. Real easy way to do it is you turn in the central. I always call it my stomach area because I got IHOP on one
Stomach
side,
area.
and I got Chick-fil-A on the other side.
And just down from it is La Hacienda.
That's right. But if you're coming in between those two of my favorite eating restaurants, we're right immediately to the left. You'll see Ulta Beauty, which is orange awnings, and you'll see us with red awnings. And we're right in there. And if you keep driving, you'll run into Lowe's and Office Depot. So don't go too far.
Well, the stomach area,
Yeah.
Diane and I are here at least once a week, but we're across that way
Uh-huh.
after you've closed, which is at the Goat. Which
Oh,
is,
the Goat's
oh
really
my
good too.
Lord, that's
It's
good.
fantastic. Well, it's like a food court in the mall. Isn't it?
It is. Well, we actually
Well, a whole
go
lot
over there
better.
and we get the salmon platter and split it, and they
Yeah.
have tzatziki that tastes just like it does in Greece. And it's anyway,
It's insane.
a
Isn't it?
little cultural center right here, you
Yeah,
might
it's
call
a
it.
little bit. Yeah, it's easy to get to. It's easy to turn into. And we've been here for 23 years. A lot of folks know who we are. We do a lot of stuff in the village, do a lot of stuff in the Hot Springs area and the surrounding areas. But we basically have that same type of clientele that you're talking about. But we've been working all up and down the pole for, different ages and stuff.
Sure.
We have young people come in. But we do carry the better TVs. We don't carry the low-end TVs because we learned something a long time ago when we were carrying Westinghouse Digital and a few of the other ones. You carry low problems, you give lots of problems. You get low-end TVs, give lots of problems, and they don't hold up that well. People are just not happy.
So somebody, and I want to wrap this one up just for a second, but I'll cut to the chase here very soon. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter. In reality, it doesn't matter what the product is you sell or what the product is the customer buys. It matters how it holds up, and you're the responsible party because you're a local face. They can say, Chris, we bought this from you, and it didn't last the 5 years we thought it did, or whatever.
That's
So
right.
do they knock on the door at Westinghouse? No, they don't even know where Westinghouse
No,
is
they
located.
call us for everything because we got the Keebler elves making it down below.
The keeper out.
But one of the things that we do carry extended warranties. Don't always push them. We're not a pushy company. We just explain things. We've always learned it's way better to have somebody explain things to you than tell you what to buy. And then another thing that we do that we don't know anybody does that, including the Geek Squad, is we make full hookup sheets of every television that we deliver.
Really?
So if we need to know, we know what room it's in, we know who delivered it, we know what's hooked up to it, so we can help you over the phone.
Oh boy, you don't have to roll, wait for
That's
us or
right.
whatever.
That's right. Lately, we've been doing some stuff with iPhones, which we do, FaceTime, and I'm literally in their home with
I
FaceTime.
heard you talking with Tracy this
Yeah.
morning that you FaceTime to do
I
a pre
did,
a
yeah.
pre. If you have new construction in the village, don't walk, run to Home Solutions. For right now, we're going to make this our only show for the moment. We'll be back, I promise. Dennis Simpson, Mr. Chris Cooper, Hot Springs Village Venues. We will see you next time.
Well, we'll just have fun because that's the way we are. We talk to you like we know your family, don't we? Dennis?
We do.
Yeah. I even found Dennis a pair of speakers to buy.
You know what? He showed me a pair of speakers, but unfortunately, I walked out with two.
That's better than one.
The Detroit. Oh man. Anyway, we'll be back.
Don't delay. Call Janae. Janae Cook, Taylor Realty, 501-617-9747. Whether you're buying, selling, or just considering. Oh, we don't need a realtor yet. Yes, you do. Don't delay. Call Janae. 501-617-9747. Call 501-922-9259. Joanna Horton at M-Force Capital. She can offer a complimentary financial evaluation planning session just for you and your needs. Once again, 501-922-9259. And literally like your good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower, your State Farm agent. Your good neighbor is there, 501-984-4100. The Home Plate Cafe and Bakery. Great home cooking and an amazing bakery located just outside the gates of Hot Springs Village. 501-984-6969 or go through the drive-thru. The Midnight Tavern, Hot Springs Village only late night place that stays open till 2 a.m. Great music, amazing drinks, and Chef Jonna cooking for you every night. At 110 Colella Drive, Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, just across from the shelf. Call for information at 501-226-0078, 501-226-0078, or check them out on Facebook with all the latest entertainment. And by Domino's Pizzas West and upcoming East. That's right, Domino's Pizza will have an East location mid-2026. Great food, great service, and great 501-915-9595. 501-915-9595.
KVRE at 92.9 and streaming worldwide on iHeartRadio. KVRE is your family-owned local hometown radio station, so be sure and tune in for live local programming, news, sports, and information every day at 92.9. HSV Radio. HSV Radio is heard every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. or streaming on any of the major platforms. Hot Springs Village Radio is an eclectic mix of music, motivation, great music history, and Saturday morning fun. Join us every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., 92.9. Hot Springs Village only short-term rental with over 2,100 five-star reviews. All properties are lakefront. They include complimentary kayaks, hot tub, pet-friendly, and a stunning view of the lake. Visit DD Village Prop today for your vacation getaway.